David, if you don't leave Lauren alone, leave her alone and let her go. If the fact that she slept with somebody a week before this process started convicts your spirit that much, let her go. Quit playing that yo-yo game. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Your Average Logical Thinker. My name is Mo, and I'm just going to discuss the last couple episodes. I think it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't know. I think it's like the one before where they left us with that dumbass cliffhanger with, let's see, who are these people? I still haven't memorized these people's names yet. Let's see, who was that at the Sara and Ben? They left us with that cliffhanger with Sara and Ben at the altar. Sara and Ben. It's not going to work. Period, point blank. If your core beliefs, as I stated before when we were discussing Married at First Sight, if your core beliefs are not the same, just at the core of things, like the main part of it, not all of the extras that's attached to it and the nuances of that one thing, but if your core beliefs are completely opposite, it's not going to work. Is it possible to be in a relationship with somebody that thinks completely different than you? Absolutely. But when it comes to belief systems, okay, belief systems and values and morals and things of that nature, if those things are differing, it is not going to work. Did you guys see Sarah's sister and her lesbian wife at the dinner? I think they were irritated because they're like, this is the first time we ever heard you go so hard for the LGBT community. That's what it was given. It was given, why are you putting on a show for the show when you normally could care less? Because they didn't really seem to have her back at all. Especially at that dinner where she introduced them to Ben. They was like, yeah, he's a nice guy, but we don't know him. And right now we don't know you. And I think that her sister-in-law, got offended by the whole acceptance thing because, number one, Sarah can't relate to anything. You are a heterosexual woman in this world. Things are easier for you. You can't possibly relate to what me and your sister got going on. So don't sit up here and act like your situation, you can compare it to ours, because one ain't like the other. So I think she was kind of taken aback and a little offended, and so maybe that's why they were kind of a little tough on her at the dinner. But I also think the sisters can see something that she's not seeing, and I think Sarah knows too that her beliefs and Ben's beliefs are pretty opposite, but she's settling because he's such a nice guy, and it appears as though he's willing to do whatever it takes to be with her. I don't know if Sarah is the hottest girl he's ever been with, but I really don't like the fact that Ben is bending his beliefs in order to fit Sarah's narrative. I think that is very, very sad, and it's not going to end well for him. If you go before the Most High and you deny him, there are consequences, and this is a test for him. And the fact that he is failing miserably when it comes to his religious beliefs and his religious practices, I think it's shameful, and I don't think it's going to end well for either one of them, because Sarah is going to come to a point where she resents him. Did you see how she was acting when they went to church? It was like the demons in her couldn't sit still. Like she just could not. It's like she was waiting to hear some affirming words from that one sermon, her first time going to his church, and it wasn't happening fast enough. And I just thought that was absolutely ridiculous. Like, what are you expecting to get out of this? I kind of feel like Ben is changing who he is in order to fit into Sarah's narrative, and I think that's going to make him resentful in the end. And I think she's going to be resentful because she's probably going to feel like he's changing to be with her when she's probably going to want him to just be who he is. But it's just not going to make, because both of them are going to be settling for each other. I think that Sarah needs to find a bisexual man to settle down with, and then maybe that'll, but she probably don't want a bisexual man. She's probably all for LGBTQ, but she ain't that much into LGBTQ that she's willing to date a bisexual man. So that's probably why her sister and them is like, how you riding so strongly for this, but you ain't even really, you come to Pride and that's it, you know. But I can understand Sara wanting to marry somebody who is not going to judge her sister and make family gatherings awkward. I think she's looking at it from that standpoint. Like, she wants to make sure that whoever she's with is going to be completely accepting of what's going on in her family, so that she doesn't have to deal with having those weird, tough, and uncomfortable conversations, you know. And the thing is, he's willing to accept who the people are in your family. He don't mind going to a pride parade here and now and again and being around your sister and hanging out. That does not mean that he has to condone the lifestyle, period, you know. And I think that she's looking at him as the enemy by going to church, because in the church, the Bible specifically states that homosexual sexual activity is a sin. It's actually an abomination. It says that in the Bible. So her knowing that he believes in the Bible and he goes to church, yet she has a sister that's in that lifestyle, she's going to have to accept that he believes it's a sin. This is going to be a point of contention in their relationship moving forward. I can already tell. At their dinner, right before, their last night, he was like, I don't want to talk about nothing heavy. I just want to enjoy. I had a rough week at work, and here you are hitting me with this tough stuff. Like, I've already just kind of told you what you wanted to hear. Like, isn't that enough? But I think that she knows in her heart that he's not really okay with it and that he's struggling. And that's why she keeps bringing it up. I think she's trying to not antagonize him, but push him to a point where he either decides, yes, I'm with it, or no, I'm not. Because he's not necessarily being straightforward. He's just kind of telling her what she wants to hear. And she knows that. So why is she still going through with this marriage? I don't know. But she is, knowing that the man is totally uncomfortable with it. You know, so I don't see nothing good. I mean, the smart thing for both of them to do is to say no. But I have a feeling that Sara is one of those kind of people that if her family says you can't do something, then she's going to do it. Just because you guys are against it, she's going to have to prove something. And so I think she's going to say yes. I think oh boy is desperate enough that he's going to say yes. And you know what? I have a question for you guys. I'm starting to believe that a lot of men put up with a lot of crap from women and kind of don't speak up or say what they really want to say because they are afraid that they're not going to be able to have sex. Like, do you guys put up with stuff or keep your mouths shut about certain things because you think the woman is going to withhold her body from you? That's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like he's like, she's giving me sex. If I say this, she's going to stop. That's how I feel a lot of men do. You know, they just kind of, because when they say happy wife, happy life, is it because if she's happy, she'll willingly give it up? And if she's not, she's going to withhold it. And then that's going to make you miserable. And then the household's miserable. At the end of the day, I think that honesty is the best policy. And it may hurt at first to hear things that may not necessarily align with your beliefs and your thoughts. But I would rather a person be completely honest and it hurt than to feel or know that that person is just telling me what I want to hear. People said that women don't want to hear the truth. I believe that. It is true. I don't like to hear certain things. It does hurt. But later on, I'm usually grateful for it, and we can move forward. And unfortunately, if what I hear makes me not want to engage with you anymore, then so be it. Then that means that was the best for you and for me. If a person can't take what it is that you are really feeling, or we can't talk it through and have a common agreement, come to a common consensus about how you feel and how I feel, if we can't move past it, then it wasn't worth it. Because when other issues and subjects and things like that come up, we're going to have the same issue. We should be able to talk about anything, especially somebody that you're going to be marrying. But that's just my thoughts. I don't know. I could be right. I could be wrong, Tell me, men that have been in long-term relationships or married, Um, how do you guys deal with tough conversations when it comes to core belief systems? Daniel and Taylor and Joey and Monica. I had to write the names down, y'all, because it's too many cast members for me to be remembering these people's names, and half of them look alike, so it's hard to remember all the names. But those two couples, Joey and Monica and Daniel and Taylor, they seem like the only two couples that really like each other for who they are. And when it comes to Monica and Joey, it doesn't seem like it takes much for them to be pleased. I think they're just two happy-go-lucky people. And I think they're both just happy that they both found somebody who likes them as much as they like them. You know what I'm saying? The feelings is mutual. It don't take much to please them, and they're just happy-go-lucky. Taylor and Daniel, they have somebody to celebrate Christmas with. So I think that's really all that matters to them. I think those two couples are going to go very far for a long time. David and Lauren. David is doing what my ex-husband did to me. He kept going back and forth. I want to stay married. No, I want to get divorced. No, I want to stay married. I want to get... He is playing yo-yo with this woman's heart and her emotions. And when they met up at that mixer in the last episode, or second to last episode, he was just drunk. He was speaking drunk words. I think he was horny, honestly. I think he just wanted to fulfill. I think he was telling her what he thought she wanted to hear in his drunken stupor, and he wanted to get some. And I think once she gives him some, he's going to be back to, I don't know, my family. Is it just me, or do you think he really has like family and friends that really care that much? For some reason, I feel like he's too old to have family and friends that are that invested in his personal relationship like that. When your siblings get to a certain age, you just kind of let them do what they gonna do and give them your opinion and move on. But all of this, they don't want to meet you, or they did want to meet you, but I didn't want them to, kind of thing. It's just weird at this point. I think he's being very, very disingenuous. I think he's lying about a lot of things. I don't know what yet, but if I were her, I would feel uncomfortable even sleeping with him without at least meeting one of his friends or somebody in his family, because at this point, do they even exist? Either way, he's playing games with her, and I don't think it's fair, and karma is a B. You know what I'm saying? I believe that he is a very shallow person, like I stated from the very beginning. And he might be one of those kind of guys where he's concerned about, obviously he's concerned about everybody's opinion except for his own. And it's like, if you really like her, if you love her, if she's who you fell in love with in the pods, what does it matter whether your sister approves or not? He said that his sister said, you can go on the show, but you better not get married to anybody. Well, then what's the purpose of coming on the show? I think that was really, really crazy for him to say. And I got to meet the sister. I personally don't think she exists. And I think, I don't know. It would be something if she came out of the woodworks and said, listen, I didn't know anything about any of this at all. He made the entire thing up. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, Brittany finally meets Devin. And I think when Devin met Brittany, I think he was pleasantly surprised, but I think also he was also relieved that he made the right decision in choosing Virginia. Virginia is just sweet. She's just too perfect, which lets me know there's something about her. We just ain't got to it yet. You know what I'm saying? But everything about her is just so perfect. It's like it's too perfect. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, she is a sweet person. And I think that Devin really got lucky with her. She's smart. She's got a lot going for herself. She's a beautiful person, beautiful spirit, beautiful soul, very understanding. So I think they make a good match. I don't like how Brittany is going around on social media kind of smearing Devin and making him out to be immature because he's not okay with his woman liking women. What I care about is if somebody doesn't believe what you believe, now they're labeled as homophobic, or now they're labeled as immature. Like everybody got a little gay in them. That's not true, ma'am. Everybody don't got a little gay in them. Grow up, Brittany. You know, you sounded like a sore loser just because he didn't pick you. Don't make him immature. He's just not down with what you got going on. The thing is, a lot of people in social media has made it okay for women to go both ways. It's more socially acceptable when a woman is looking on another woman, right? So when you get with a man and he's like, I don't like that, it's like, whoa, well, what's wrong with you? Because any other man will be like, okay, let's have a threesome. You know what I'm saying? But Devin ain't about that, and you're just disappointed. You thought it would fly, and it didn't, and it backfired on you. You know, I would have kept that to myself. But then again, I'm glad she was honest and told him that, because that's something he needs to know. Because say later on down the line, she has that urge, you know what I'm saying? She's struggling with it, and she needs to tell him about it. You know, he would have rather her come out now rather than later on, you know? So I think everything worked out for it was, but to go on the smear campaign calling him immature because he doesn't agree with your lifestyle, cut it out. You're looking like a sore loser. You're looking real salty. Alex, Madison, Meg, and Mason. Oh my gosh. First of all, I am so glad that Meg and Mason found their way to each other. Madison was not happy to see that. You know, Madison has got a lot of growing up to do. Madison has got some things she has to deal with. Whoo-wee! That girl's got issues. And I can't believe that Alex came back, saw her, and was like, I want to try. Because you are fine. Madison is very, very beautiful, right, on the outside. But she's got some things on the inside that she has to work out. There was a psychologist on YouTube that broke down her personality type, and it was like avoidant manipulation or something like that. And it's one of those people that will tell you too many traumatic things too soon in order to gain empathy, in order to rush the process of intimacy, you know? And when she broke that down, I was like, that's exactly what she was doing, you know? Unfortunately, it backfired, and I'm so glad that Alex was mature enough to pick up on and say, this is something that I'm not really going to be willing to deal with long term. But it was disappointing to hear that once he saw her, he threw all of that out the window and said, at least let's try. But guess what? They say men are visual, right? So he saw her and was like, let me give her a chance. And I keep telling this, ladies, you know, your beauty might get you in the door, but what's going to keep you in the house, right? You may look good on the outside, but once you start opening your mouth and talking and letting the real you come out, and if it's unpleasing to the heart, unpleasing to that man's psyche, his gut's telling him, she looked good, and I may give her 1, 2, and 3 chances, but crazy keeps coming out, I'm not going to be able to deal with this long term. Let me get what I can out of it right now, and then kick her to the curb. And that's exactly what happened. He gave her a chance because he saw how beautiful she was, but then he realized quickly, nope, can't do it. Thought I could, but I can't. And Madison, you should have had enough self-esteem and pride, self-worth to say no. When that man denied you in the pods, which he rightfully did, rightfully so, that should have been your cue not to give him a second chance, because he don't know what he wants. But at the end of the day, he knows what he wants. He saw you, he was able to conquer you, and then he kicked you to the curb like you wasn't nothing. And you could tell Madison was still hurt by that whole situation. And I would be hurt too if I bared on my soul all of this information, all of this deep stuff about me, and then you still chose not to deal with me. And then you later came back asking for a second chance. I gave you a second chance, and then you realize yet again, I'm not the one for you. So it sucks all around, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that Meg and Madison got together, you know, and that they're getting to know each other, because I think Mason is a good guy, and he may have fumbled a little bit in the pods, you know, but he was able to recover, and he got Meg, and they seem really, really happy. So I hope they go far, and I hope that they're still together during the reunion. And I think that's all of the couples. I may be missing somebody, but that's all that stood out to me. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Yeah, we gonna see. I don't know who's gonna get married. I think that Joey and Monica and Daniel and Taylor for sure are a shoo-in. They're gonna get married. Sara and Ben, I think they're gonna get married in spite of all of the red flags blaring right there in front of them. I think that who else? Virginia and Devin are gonna get married. So we'll see. Anyways, bye.